Hey everybody, it's Mr. Hague again, and today we're going to learn about the eyedropper tool. Not the one that you put on your eyes, okay? It's the Photoshop version. Well, first of all, you should have downloaded the exercise files, and let me show you what they are. I'm going to bring them up here, and they are this: a gradient image and a nice looking toy train. Looks really pretty, doesn't it? Alright, so what you're going to want to do is highlight both of them. Okay, and I'm going to open with Photoshop, and you can do this method of importing using a Windows or a Mac. Okay, let's give it a second for it to import. Still waiting for the train. There it is right there. So kind of large images, but we'll work with them. Okay, the eyedropper tool is, let me just move this in a little bit, is one, two, three, four, five, the sixth one down. And there it is right there. It looks just like an eyedropper. Okay, and as you can see the animation over there, it changes the foreground color. And as you can see, we're going to be working with the foreground background icons. And as the eyedropper is moving around, you might see the other tools over here. If you do, select eyedropper. So let's go to gradient tool and let's watch, okay, the foreground and background icons. Okay, so there is the foreground, the one behind it is the background. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and click on the eyedropper tool, and on the very top of the options bar you'll see that it has several options. Sample size takes the average in pixels of the area that you selected. For now, let's go ahead and choose point samples. In other words, where you click is exactly the color you're going to pick. Okay, and then of course sample the current layer. Well, we only have one layer, that's the background layer. But you have other options. You can choose all layers or layers and no adjustments. At any rate, not as important as the current one. And so you can actually pick images with both layers above and below. I suppose we can try that a little bit later, but you can also try all layers as well, but we're going to focus on the current layer. Okay, and that makes all the sense in the world to me. So, and then I guess supposedly we can show the sample ring. Okay, and as you can see, if I click here, it kind of shows the area that I'm sampling. So I think that's pretty cool, so let's keep that on. Alright, so we've got the point sample. Now let's go ahead and make sure that the eyedropper tool is selected, and let's go ahead and click on any part of this graphic. As you can see right now, looks like my foreground changed to a black. That's fine. Let's go ahead and click on the very top part, and you notice that that changed. If I click in the middle towards the hot pink, you notice there it is right there. It kind of pinks. Actually, that little sampling is pretty cool because it changes no matter where I move to. And if you notice that if I press and hold the eyedropper tool, and look at how it kind of changes the foreground color. And here's the awesome thing, is that if you press and hold the option button, it'll change the background. You see how the background is being changed? Pretty awesome, I'd say. Alright, so that's the point sample. Let's go on to the 11 by 11 to see if there's any difference. Okay, so what is 11 by 11? Let's go ahead. It's 11 by 11 pixels. That is an awfully small area. So if I was to go ahead and do File New, okay, and choose a width of 11 by 11 pixels, press Create. That's it right there. So if I go ahead and select all, go to Select All, you'll notice the marching ants, even though there's a few ants, are still selecting that area. I'm going to use the marquee tool and do this little trick. I'm going to move this up all the way to my gradient and then come back down, and there it is. So you see that area? Not much of an impact. So even if I was to choose the eyedropper tool and select this area here you're not going to see much difference. So why do they do that? Don't know. At any rate, now let's try another one. Let's go back here, deselect, and let's go ahead and take the image and increase it to 51 by 51. Okay, there we go. And now it got a little bigger. I'm going to select all. Notice a marching ants appears again. I'm going to drag. If you notice, I'm dragging all the way to the gradient. And now I got a bigger selection. And I'm going to move this right around here to see if there's any significant change. Okay, so there it is right there. I'm going to choose the the eyedropper tool, click in here, and as you can see, if I click on other parts, there's not that much significant changes. I mean, you can kind of click on the foreground color here, and you can see, let's look at the HSB value, 338, 93, 94. If I click down here, okay, H value, well, it changed a little bit, 336, 92, 90. So it changes when it comes to numerical value, but it doesn't change when it comes to the eye. Okay, I guess that's why they call it the eyedropper tool, because it makes you see clearer. All right, at any rate, that is that. Let's go into the toy train, and as you can see, more color options here. Right now, my foreground color is set to hot pink from the other image. Now it's blue. Now it's yellow, now it's green, green again, now it's black for the tires. So pretty fun tool, and we'll be using this to capture images. Sometimes in a case where you want to change a person's eye color from brown, like mine, to the color of the sky. Wouldn't that be cool? All right, well, with that being said, I wish you well, and let's move on to the next lesson.